pretty pathetic. Leon, I'm afraid you're on last.
Not to worry. I have jokes.
Oh,
likes my jokes.
Yes.
I like the master.
I'd like to speak against the proposition this evening because it's a complex issue and it doesn't divide easily along religious lines. And also it features many intricacies which are not covered by the simplistic way in which the motion is stated. As far as the Jewish position is concerned, the issue is not so relevant for Northern Ireland because there will never be a Jewish school here in our lifetime. In the UK government report called Faith in the System on the role of schools with a religious character in education society, it speaks of providing a safe and harmonious environment for all. It also notes that faith schools have a role to play in integrating people into society. The government recognises that faith schools are popular with parents, and they make an important contribution to the way the UK discharges its duties under the European Convention of Human Rights. Parents have the right to educate their children in their own religious and philosophical convictions. In the UK, there exist what are called faith-maintained schools. These follow the national curriculum and are inspected by Ofsted. Yet they have specific flexibility in the teaching of RE, collective worship, admissions up to a point, and the school ethos. At present, about 1/3 of maintained schools are those with a religious character. In the UK, there are 26,500 Jewish pupils in Jewish day schools. This figure represents about 50% of Jewish children between the ages of 4 and 18. Curriculum and ethos are at the heart of these schools, most of which are maintained. They educate to a high standard and do very well in national examinations. The Jewish ethos of these schools provides a reflection of the larger community, as well as a role model for pupils who will become leaders of the future. They promote community cohesion for this small but important minority, which numbers some 300,000 nationwide. In order to fulfill one's obligations as a Jew, education plays an important part. The intensive study of such subjects as Bible and other sacred texts, Hebrew language, Jewish history, and liturgy are too complex to be studied either at home or on an occasional basis in evening or Sunday school. Also, studying in a Jewish environment provides a bulwark against the wider secular culture, where consumerism and relativism hold sway, with the danger that children become tourists in all cultures and at home in none. Also, you might not realize that maintained Jewish schools are a mixed economy. Jewish studies are funded not by the state, but by the parents, as is security, which is, sadly, an important consideration in our troubled times. There are also changes on the horizon because in years to come, there will be more supply than demand in Jewish schools. This situation already has important implications for the Jewish high schools in Birmingham and Liverpool, where half the student body of these schools is non-Jewish. Yet there is something about the Jewish experience that the parents of these children find valuable. Reports have suggested the Jewish experience contribution in this country is an example of good practice to share with others. This may well be the case at maintained faith schools, which are seen by the government and the Jewish community as something worth preserving, despite the challenges ahead. In best cases, they collaborate with others inside and outside their faiths as a way of promoting community cohesion and integration. Let me close with a kind of thought-provoking joke. Angela was nearing 60 and was in her final year of teaching in a religiously neutral school. She was a devout Christian who missed teaching from the Bible in her secondary school. Because she was worried about how little her class knew about religion, Angela decided she was going to disregard the new school regulations and teach some. She told her class that she would run a contest. She would give £10 to whoever could tell her who was the greatest man who ever lived. Immediately, Moishi, the only Jewish kid in the class, began to raise his hand, but Angela ignored him in favor of the Christian pupils. As she went around the room, Angela was disappointed with the answer she got. Jane, her best scholar, picked Noah because he saved all the animals. Jimmy said, I think the greatest man who ever lived was Alexander the Great because he conquered the whole world. Susan said, I think it was Thomas Edison because he invented the light bulb. Finally, she called on Moishi, who still had his hand in the air. I think the greatest man who ever lived was Jesus Christ, said Moishi. Angela was shocked. but she still gave him the £10 reward. And she did so. She said, well, Moishi, I'm very surprised that you should be the only one with the right answer. How did this happen? Well, to tell you the truth, Moishi replied as he pocketed the money, I think it was Moses, but business is business. I urge you to vote against this one.